बोरिवली को ब्यूटिफिकेशन करने में उनका बहुत ही बड़ा योगदान है. And we want you to say some few words, sir. It will be our honor to hear you.
Platinum Corporation presents BRIHANMUMBAI Developers Association and MIDDAY for the PDA Real Estate Conclave. For the today's program, our distinguished guest, my friend, and whom we know since last so many years as one of the person who has transformed Powai. There was a time then people used to think that how to go to Powai. And there was a time that people has taken the challenges and to build a new city in Powai, which was none other than Shri Niranjan Hiranandani. And the distinguished guest, my friends, and all the builders and developers from across Mumbai. I welcome you all to the BDA's Real Estate Conclave 2022. I know that to speak in English is a little bit difficult for you to understand because somebody had spoken that English में बात नहीं करना है. ऐसा कुछ मैंने कल सुना था. जिन लोगों ने सुना था वो अभी नज़र मोड़ के बैठे हैं. लेकिन English is a professional language which you have to speak. When we do business, we need that we should speak in English. Of course, we have a अभी इनको मालूम है, अभी उनको मत बताओ, उनको बिठाओ. अभी 2 मिनट का समय आपने दिया है. अब 2 मिनट में very easy, people feel it's a very lucrative projects. They just calculate the profits. 8,000 square feet, 10,000 square feet, and then sale is 40,000 rupees per square feet. So 22,000 rupees in the pocket. It never happens. I know how difficult it is. When I was talking to Mr. Hiranandani, I know the time when 1995 and the time has been picked up in 2000, 2004, the policy which has been changed by the then government. It is not easy for the builders and the developers to take a plot, build the buildings, to sell the product, get the companies, involve the social media, and to go and get the price what you are expecting for the sales. The Mahanagarpalika or the BRIHANMUMBAI Corporation, their premiums are so expensive. Niranjan ji ko pata hai ki for a school or for a college, which I have built my own colleges called Atharva College of Engineering, which is one of the best in India where we have our own satellite. For the new building about 3 months back, I have paid more than 9,000 rupees per square feet for a premium, which is impossible to get it back. People think education is very easy to get it back, but till you die, money never comes back. इसके लिए राजनीति में काम करने वाले लोग मुंबई के क्षेत्र में, विशेष रूप से उत्तर मुंबई के क्षेत्र में कोई कॉलेजेस नहीं बनाता. और it is very easy to give advice, but it is very difficult for you to bring into reality what advice you are giving it to the people. और इसके लिए मुझे लगता है, looking at your smile on the faces, I can understand what am I speaking to you all. और आपके मन की जो बात है उसको मैं जानता हूँ. Borivali, to be very frank, very precisely, what am I changing Borivali as a transformation of Borivali? जब हम पहले पवई जाते थे तो लगता था कि पवई में इतनी बड़ी रिस्क मैनेजमेंट उठाने वाले लोग कौन है. 2 मिनट के आगे हो गया, चलेगा? मैं तो रोकता हूँ. नहीं, मेरे उधर ही रहते हैं, मुझे डर लगता है वो हर रोज मिलेगा नहीं तो मुझे, और बोलेगा कि कल भी वेस्टेज हो गया हमारा टाइम. इनका भी फोटो लो. हाँ, ही मेड मी अंडरस्टैंड कि कल हमारा पकड़ गया टाइम. And then वो time, the younger entrepreneurs are sitting over here, especially, should look at the icons. कि किसने क्या बनाया, रियल एस्टेट कैसे आगे बढ़ा, what was the time, and who should be the important personalities in India, especially in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, who should give us inspiration, who should give us motivation. And sometimes when I speak to the entrepreneurs, I ask them only two questions. What is the difference between inspiration and motivation? अगर मैं interaction करूं, and if I'll ask what could be the motivational advantage you have got while doing this conclave, and who should be your inspiration? The inspiration is sitting over here, none other than Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani. और ये तब की बात है, आइए दामजी भाई, आपके दर्शन हुए, आइए. मैंने फोटो में देखा था, मैंने कहा आज दर्शन होगा. नहीं, आपके दर्शन हुए, अच्छा लगा. शाम के वक्त दर्शन होना. अबे पहले बार सुन रहे हो, YouTube बना के रखना, काम में आएगा. ईस्ट में नहीं हुआ तो कभी वेस्ट में आओगे. याद तो करोगे कि मागाटणे है कि बोरिवली है. इनको मालूम है मैं क्या बोल रहा हूं. इसके लिए मैं इनका उदाहरण इसके लिए देता हूं. इट इज नॉट वेरी इजी टू डेवलप. एट द सेम टाइम what is important along with inspiration, motivation is capital. अगर कैपिटल सही है, कैपिटल का इस्तेमाल सही तरीके से करते हो, what is a venture capitalist and capital investment के पश्चात how you sustain with the capital. If you want to grow with the sustainable investment and sustainable investment to make you grow with the consumer's demand, which will not be easy. और अपने देश का जो कंज्यूमर है वो आप लोगों को, क्योंकि मैं भी इसमें से गया हूं, नॉट एज अ कंज्यूमर बट एज अ रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर, तो अपना जो कंज्यूमर है वो आपने अच्छी बिल्डिंग बनाने के बाद भी वो कहता है कि बहुत अच्छा फ्लैट बना के दिया लेकिन टीवी नहीं दिया. टीवी देने के बाद ये कहता है कि टेलीविजन तो अच्छा दिया, सैमसंग का भी दिया, लेकिन 32 इंच का दिया. आई रिमेंबर, आई थिंक निरंजन जी मस्ट हैव गॉन थ्रू इट. आई वॉज द वन हु वॉज डूइंग एजिटेशन फॉर मेकिंग रीडेवलपमेंट ऑफ बिडडी चॉल्स फॉर 11 ईयर्स. 11 साल के बाद जब बिडडी चाल का रीडेवलपमेंट हुआ, एंड द देन चीफ मिनिस्टर हैड मेड मी एग्जीक्यूटिव प्रेसिडेंट to make the redevelopment happen in Worli, Naigaon, Dilal Road and Shivri. We made the plan, we made the sample flat, and we took people to show them the flat, 500 square feet. The people used to live in 120 to 160 square feet. The reaction of the people was what? You will be surprised. मैंने जब उनको सैंपल फ्लैट दिखाया तो उन्होंने कहा 2 टॉयलेट की आवश्यकता क्यों है? तो मैंने कहा अच्छा है, बिडडी चौल में पहले तो बाहर जाना पड़ता था, अभी तो घर में 2-2 टॉयलेट है. उन्होंने कहा एक काम करो ना. मैंने क्या क्या? तो बोले एक को बुझा दो और उसको बेडरूम कर दो. द मेंटालिटी ऑफ द पीपल इज समथिंग एल्स. टू सेल आवर बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट which will be difficult for us to convince the consumer. And that's why what I need to speak to you all, especially the areas what we have to develop, not only towards the plot what you are going to develop, but you'll have to transform the area which may be opposite side of yours. The transformation of a Borivali. Why you are doing it in Borivali? Because Borivali will have a lot of supply. The demand by the people will be little less, but the supply for the people will be very high. So as a local representative, my duty is to transform the Borivali. And couple of projects which I would like to speak to you all, which we are developing, which the work has already started. Like Mangrove Forest Park, which is close to the sea. Have you heard about it? आपने देखा है? नहीं देखा. You must go. अबे चांडक जी आप भी थोड़ा ईस्ट से निकल के प्रेम और सद्भाव से बोरिवली वेस्ट आओ. और सद्भाव से आने के बाद आपको पता लगेगा ईस्ट में मागाटणे है, नेशनल पार्क का जंगल है, वहां पर चीते रहते हैं, तो गोराई गांव में भी चीते रहते हैं. So we are transforming Borivali, where the jetty is being renovated like Amsterdam jetty. You must visit. मैं आपको लेके जाऊंगा एक दिन. Mangrove Forest Park is a concept by then Chief Minister Devendraji Fadnavis and the Forest Minister, ex-Forest Minister Sudhir Mungattiwar. The project was initiated by them, but which has been halted due to the elections. And when I have come over here, Borivali had given us tremendous vote margin. We have seen this project, out of which one project which has been already initiated in Navi Mumbai. I think you must have seen, which is called a Flamingo Park. देखा है आपने? आपने भी नहीं देखा? Flamingo Park? Flamingo Park is a concept which has been developed by then government, made by the German people. ये आपने नहीं देखा किसी ने? It's in the middle of the sea, below the Navi Mumbai bridge. It's a fantastic. You must go to see to it, the exhibition hall, where you could go and see actual flamingos which comes over there. And that's why they have developed the mud flaps. The mud flaps which has been developed specially as a food for the flamingos. And lakhs of flamingos comes over there. You can take a boat and go across like a ferry amongst the flamingos. Fantastically done. The same project which we have initiated at Borivali, where you could go and see the work has been initiated. The completion of the project is 26 January 2023, which you can sell. You should not sell as your project. You should sell as a project in Borivali. नहीं तो कभी कभी ऐसा होता है ना, मैं ही बना रहा हूँ, हो सकता है ऐसा, वो अभय चांडक जी अपने ब्रोशर में लगा देंगे, नहीं लगाओगे नहीं, लेकिन हो सकता है. Second project which I have initiated, see, previous representative have done tremendous grounds, parks, but I am developing the sports facilities. The first international skating rink has been developed, inaugurated. More than 1,000 children every day comes into that skating rink, which is at Chikuwadi. You must have seen, I don't know whether you have gone or not. The second boxing club, basketball club, and liner skatings. I don't know whether you know the liner skating, which is called inline skatings, which is a Olympic skating, has to be done by the younger generation, which we are doing in Borivali. By 30th of May, we are inaugurating the next one. The third archery club, the rifle association club, and a horse riding club, which is coming at Borivali with a Mahalakshmi racecourse horses. But you should not do any kind of a booking over there. Booking के लिए आपको महालक्ष्मी जाना पड़ेगा. अच्छा माल बेचा गया तो महालक्ष्मी जाने से आप परे हो सकते हो. आपके पीछे और एक बैठा है बिल्डर छोटा वाला. But I feel Borivali we should transform and give it in your hands. You can construct the buildings which people should come and buy the product. But the product you should make it in such a way, like how Mr. Hiranandani has done, where you must have gone, everybody must have gone to Dubai, everyone. Have you seen District 1? You must have seen. Have you seen the address? देखा कि नहीं देखा? अब हाँ भी नहीं बोलते हो, ना भी नहीं बोलते हो. रात की दुबई देखी होगी, वो भी अच्छी है. लेकिन दिन की दुबई में जो अच्छा बना है, that you should bring. We are not talking about the casinos, but we are talking about the buildings which has been built. You must have gone to the Singapore. You must have gone to the Orchard Road, Tang Road. You should see the buildings as best what he must have done. He brought the designs the same way what we live in the building, which has been made by Mr. Wadhwa, which is called Aquaria. Aquaria is one of the best buildings in Borivali. We should create something, and we should look at those buildings, should not look like a धोबी घाट. अच्छी बिल्डिंग्स बोरीवली में बनती है. मैं समझता हूँ कि बोरीवली में कपड़ों की दुकान बहुत है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि कपड़े हम हर बालकनी में कपड़े है कि नहीं है. निरंजन जी, यू मस्ट गाइड देम कि कपड़े छुपाने की जगह बनानी चाहिए. सुरा जी, मेरे हाथ जोड़ के विनती है कि बोरीवली में इतने अच्छे टावर बनते हैं, लेकिन वर्ली से बोरिवली आने के बाद फर्क नहीं लगता है। वहाँ पर नीचे कपड़े धो के लगाते थे, यहाँ पर ऊपर कपड़े धो के लगाते हैं। तो ये अगर हम बदल सकते हैं तो मुझे लगता है बोरिवली सुंदर होगी, बोरिवली का भाव और अच्छा होगा। 30,000 40,000 से शुरुआत करके आप 1 लाख तक पहुंच सकते हो। लेकिन बोरिवली को बनाने की जिम्मेदारी आपकी भी है, मेरी भी है, 1.5 घंटे वालों की भी है, 8 मिनट वालों की भी है, सबकी है। और ये बोरिवली निश्चित रूप से हम अच्छी बनाएं। जहाँ जहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि हमारी मदद की आवश्यकता है, दामजी भाई हम आपके साथ खड़े हैं। आपका दर्शन ऐसे ही मिलता रहे, ये भगवान से प्रार्थना है। और ये दर्शन अगर मिले तो बोरिवली बदल सकती है। इसके लिए आप सबको मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ। विशेष रूप से हमारे मित्र पिछले कई वर्षों से जिनको हम मानते हैं, जानते हैं, जिनके कामों के वजह से आज पवई न बल्कि मुंबई में पूरे देश में एक शान बन के रह गई है, ऐसे निरंजन हीरानंदानी को मैं पुनः एक बार धन्यवाद देते हुए मेरे वाणी को विराम देता हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
सुनील जी, आपका खूब खूब धन्यवाद। हरीश भाई, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू to please felicitate Sunil ji as a token of appreciation. Yeah. We'll be starting our next session in 3 minutes. Sir, yes, sir. It's our pleasure to have you. Yeah, yeah. I was going to call you, but yes, you can please. So we've all been waiting eagerly for this session. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you very, very much. Wow. I need sunglasses to see this shiny bright space. Courtesy these real estate stalwarts. Sir, we are humbled and honored to get your audience and help make this conclave an absolute success. You have witnessed the real estate industry like no one else. You have seen its ups and downs. Today, we urge you to share your anecdotes and experience and give us an opportunity to learn from your achievements. BDA is affiliated with Naredco Maharashtra, and we are all looking forward to learning more from all of y'all. So, without a much ado, here is presenting our most interesting session, Decoding the Real Icons with, well, the real stars. I would like to introduce our moderator for this session, Mr. Jayavardhan Goyanka. He is the director of Dynamics Group, also a managing committee member of Naredco Maharashtra. He is the third generation of the family to work for Dynamics Group, having started his career at the age of 20. He is an alumnus of prestigious London School of Economics and have worked with McKinsey and McKinsey. Thank you very much for moderating this session. Thank you, Jay. Put your hands together for the most charismatic icons who need absolutely no introduction. Can we have some good round of applause? Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, co-founder and managing director of Hiranandani Group and chairman emeritus of Naredco Maharashtra. Dr. Rajan Bandalkar, the founder and MD of Ronak Group and the president of Naredco India. Mr. Sandeep Runwal, director of Runwal Group and president of Naredco Maharashtra. Mr. Nayan Shah, CEO and MD of Mayfair Housing and past president of Credai MCHI. Mr. Harish Kumar Jain, promoter of H. Rishabh Raj Group and vice president BDA. I would now like to hand over the mic to Mr. Jay to start our panel discussion. No, hold on, sorry. We wanted Mr. Harish Kumar Jain was so overwhelmed and excited, he said, I have to address the crowd. And that's why he made a special request saying that I would like to say a few words. And I missed it. I'm very, very sorry. Please, sir, come on the stage.
Thank you. A warm welcome to Sir Niranjan Hiranandani. हमारे लिए we are glad, we are honored to have this all star walls over here. नयन भाई डे वन से हमारे साथ में थे. So सही में ये जो एग्जीबिशन भी है, हमने 1.5 साल पहले एक जस्ट सबने मिलके एक सपना देखा था. 1.5-2 साल पहले एक्चुअली कोविड के पहले, तो कि भाई ये एग्जीबिशन हमको करना है. एंड ऑल ऑफ ए सडन कोरोना आ गया, कोविड आ गया. तो इस सब का ड्रीम था कि एक एग्जीबिशन बीडीए की तरफ से होए, और आज ये सपना सच हुआ है. सो आई थैंक ऑल द बीडीए मेंबर्स, यूथ कमिटी. सर, ऑल यूथ कमिटी हैज़ डन ए फैंटास्टिक जॉब टू गेट दिस एग्जीबिशन एट दिस प्लेस. I really thank all the executive members and youth committee that we have reached at this stage. So, आज के today's point is that decoding the real icons, and we have the Bhishma Pitama of real icons with us, and I once again welcome him. जब हमने ये 2019 में जब ये एक छोटी सी शुरुआत की थी, just between 7-8 developers, there were very big issues of interpretation of DCPR 2034, and सारा ही काम रुक गया था. So like small redevelopments, when it gets stalled, it really affects our feasibility. The projects get stalled, और एक redeveloper का एक अगर project अटक जाता है, तो then he is not in position कि वो दूसरा project कर पाए. So there the BDA came into picture, and वहाँ से बीडीए की शुरुआत हुई. वो एक छोटे से रिवॉल्ट से टुडे इज कम इनटू एन एसोसिएशन. लाइकवाइज व्हेन वी वेंट अहेड, वी सॉ इट कि द सेम काइंड ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशंस आर बीन मेड फ्रॉम एमसीएचआई, आर बीन मेड फ्रॉम नरेटको, आर बीन मेड फ्रॉम पिएटा. सो दैट वाज क्रिएटिंग कंफ्यूजन अमॉन्ग द ब्यूरोक्रेट्स, द बीएमसी एंड द गवर्नमेंट authorities. So in order, in larger interest of the entire fraternity, we decided कि सब अगर एक ही जन का अगर एक ही representation हो रहा है, why not make it together? So with the view of Sandeep ji, I would like to thank over you, Sandeep ji and Abhay ji, when we met and Naredco BDA happened to happen. So a very big round of applause for Naredco BDA affiliation. I truly hope this partnership now collectively work twice as hard as and in the longest period. So we look forward to be affiliated for lifetime. Let me tell you a little bit of my personal journey and formation of BDA. जैसे कि मैंने बताया 2019 में ये सब प्रॉब्लम हुई, तो उस समय हमने BDA फॉर्म किया. And me as a small time redeveloper used to do just 2 or 3 buildings in a year. After meeting all these stalwarts, इन लोग के साथ communication किया, इन लोग के साथ बात आगे बढ़ाई, and जो issues होते थे, we used to meet all these guys. So we got inspiration from all these stalwarts, and today, me being a director of H. Rishabh Raj, we are doing like 21 projects in this western suburbs. So it's complete inspiration from all the stalwarts, and among that is Hiranandani sir, who can really create एक पूरा जो उन्होंने एक सिटी बनाई एक स्टोन क्वारी से, जिसको आज हम पवई कहते हैं, वो अगर आपको सबको पता ही होगा, वो एक स्टोन क्वारी थी और उसमें से उन्होंने एक मुंबई का ताजमहल बनाया है. So lot to learn from him, we get lot of inspiration from him. I even have a same background as he had. He was also in textile industry and we are also from textile industry. So in 2010, when I just started, at that time also, Niranjan Hiranandani sir was on the top. Today also he is on the top of the game and he is like Amitabh Bachchan of the real estate. कल भी थे, आज भी हैं और कल भी रहेंगे. So we are honored. We are really glad to have you over here. We really have a complete of his vision, personality, and we have to learn a lot from him. Few things just to, before I end it, like everybody wants to be like Hiranandani, like Runwals, like Ronak, like Mayfair. So you have to be very, very dedicated. You have to inspire from them. जो काम करना है उसको उसके पीछे पड़ के उसकी planning करके, it has to be closed in all ways by means of finance, planning, tenants, delivery, quality, which is very, very important. And rest all ज़्यादा अभी अपने को इनसे ज़्यादा सीखने मिलेगा. We also have to learn from him. And one small thing about redevelopment, BDA is an association of redevelopers. So by doing redevelopment, ना ही एक business है, ये एक type का एक social cause भी है. We are giving a new home to all the 30, 40, 50 years old building who really cannot afford to buy a home at 2 crore rupees. 3 big lifestyle which really they by themselves cannot afford it. So redevelopment is भी कोई भी छोटी मोटी तकलीफ आए तो we want your word. You all shall stand by us and we shall get all this resolved whenever there is an issue so that we can give back to society, we can give to our developer industry, developer fraternity. Thank you so much. I'll not take more of time. I know all of you all want to hear from the Star Wars. मेरे से सुनना नहीं है, but then we start with the panel discussion. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Harish ji. The session cannot start without the keynote from Mr. Hiranandani.
I'm actually delighted, overwhelmed, grateful, thankful of all the accolades that I'm receiving. Thank you very, very much. I'm really, really obliged and humbled with all the love and affection that each and every one of you have given. Harish, it's such a fantastic job that you and all have done in BDA today that I'm very proud. I just saw the exhibition and the kind of work which has been put together by the juniors, seniors, everybody. I think it's wonderful. Please give them a very, 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 very big hand. I have to thank all of the new generation of people. Just to give you how old I am, I have worked with Jay's grandfather as a partner. I've worked with Sandeep's father to set up MCHI at that point of time. And I've worked with Nayan's father 45 years ago. So I'm that kind of old situation over there. And I sometimes feel that I'm 22 kilometers, which will add land equal to the half of Mumbai will be added between Panvel and Karjat, which will be only 40 minutes from South Mumbai. 40 minutes from South Mumbai, we will add enough land equal to half of Mumbai across the harbour. That's an empty, lying empty today in terms of development opportunity which is going to come up. We are going to get a new airport, which Mr. Adani told me that he's going to do it in 2024. Maybe it will be 2025. The railway line from VT to Panvel will be extended to Karjat to a railway, means a suburban rail line which will be extended. So the volume of opportunity which is going to increase simply only on the central side, western side you people know, but I'm just giving you an idea of the kind of growth which is going to be there. When I came to Powai 37 years ago, at that point of time, there was only one builder there before me, and he was making a 3-storied building. For 7 years, he had not completed the building. And I was the number 2 builder who came into Powai, into that particular land. Today, there are 30 builders, and everybody is doing extremely well in terms of what they are doing in Powai. Let's take the second project that I took up, which is Thane. When I went to Thane, the Godbandha road was a 2-lane road. Today, it is a 14-lane road. I'll repeat. It is now a 14-lane road with every junction from Dadar to my site in Powai having a flyover. Except for 2 Godrej junctions which has not got flyover. All the junctions have got flyovers now. It used to take 1.5 hours to go from Thane station to my site. Today it takes 1 hour 15 minutes, if you're against the traffic, to come from South Mumbai to Thane. We have only 42 big developers in Thane. How many? 42 big developers in Mumbai. And everybody is doing extremely well. So what's the secret really in terms of real estate as a development? The first is infrastructure. If we as an association can precipitate government to work on infrastructure like we have got. And incidentally, I'll just share with you some figures and numbers that you should know. Government will be spending on 300 kilometers of metro, Cross Harbour Bridge, Navi Mumbai Airport, Coastal Road, and Ro-Ro connectivity, 3 lakh crores. The total money spent by central and state government in 60 years in Mumbai region was 30,000 crores. And now in 5 years, they will have spent 3 lakh crores, Jay. And I'm not counting Mumbai-Nagpur, 80,000 crores, and I'm not counting the bullet train from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, which is another segment that is going to come up. So, first of all, when you have a kind of infra that you will create and a quality development that you will do, there's going to be a burst of activity which is going to be different. And hence, any improvement in activity there is there. Chair's grandfather, Mr. K.M. Goenka, my partner at that time, we had a discussion. I'm talking about 35 years ago or 30 years ago. I don't remember the exact date. And there were lots of new ideas that we thought about. So when we look at real estate as a development, we have to think about everybody else also, which is the city, the state, the city, the infrastructure, and then you will automatically benefit. Because if you don't have the roads, if you don't have the metro, if you don't have the infrastructure, if you don't have the connectivity, then what happened to commercial real estate in Parel, which actually went down while BKC went up, simply because the connectivity and development around BKC improved in terms of flyovers and connectivity. So we all have to think of collective, and that is why, Harish, it's very important to have BDA, CRIDAI, MCHI, NARETCO, associations to work like this in order to do that. When we work together and you have exhibitions like that, and we had the exhibitions in MCHI 30 years ago, I don't remember the dates. When we started that, everybody said, what's the need for the exhibitions? You know, there's competition next to each other. But in reality, everybody benefited by having this concession, because everybody said the best deals are going to be available next to each other, and you can able to finalize this whole idea. So when we work collectively in the association platforms, in any good association, we need two things. One, that we should think bigger than yourself. The moment you think only about yourself, but not about your other people. For instance, I get surprised when people say brothers are fighting brothers. I would like my brother to be richer than me, so he won't ask me for money, I can ask him for money. But it's reverse. People want to actually bring him down, actually, and say he should be poorer than you. And I would prefer my brother to be richer than me, so that hopefully he will give me money, you know. So similarly, when we talk about the industry as a whole, we really need to think through and say, what is it that the association collectively should be able to propagate? And we should sell Maharashtra. We should sell Mumbai. We should market the entire thing. When, I don't know whether you all are aware, 35 years ago, Mumbai wanted to move commercial out of Mumbai. MMRDA had an order, no new commercial, and we had to change that policy. In the meantime, Bangalore and Hyderabad and NCR took leadership of it. Then we got the policies changed, and we got commercial and IT and other things to come into the state. So this is the most important thing of all. When we are sitting in a meeting like this, what we really need to do. The second most important thing is to say, how can I improve every day? Some people say, I'm doing such fantastic building. How can I improve? And I say, can we improve 1% of our building? So that every building we improve 1%. I remember 30 years ago, I had a person who bought a flat from me in Powai, and he came and thanked me. Aapne kitna badhiya building banaya hai. You know, thank you very much, Mr. Hiranandani. I'm so grateful to you. We have got a lovely house and all. The same person met me after 12 or 14 years, and he was cursing me. Gali de raha tha. I said, I thought you were a happy person. I remember, because in those days I knew every customer. Now I don't know even the biggest customers of mine. So I said, why are you not doing it? He said, मैंने आपका नया building देखा और मेरे building से कितना अच्छा बनाया है. So I said, I'm very sorry. मैं हर साल जब ये building बनाता हूँ तो कुछ उसमें अच्छा बनाता हूँ पहले building से. So how is it that possible that my newer building will be like your old building? But that's unfair for me, no? And I said, I built a school, I built a hospital, I built all this, which was not there when I gave you the building. So you should be actually happy. But he was still unhappy, and that unhappiness is all right. But the fact that we continue to improve the kind of work. The next important thing is to see how we can contribute to certain things in your area of working. Being, what can we contribute not only to the building that we do, but also to the neighborhood that you have in terms of what we do. And there are hundreds and thousands of ways to do that. And if every builder can do that little bit extra to do whatever is the contribution, I think the reputation of the whole industry will be done. We do, for example, we build schools, we have built hospitals and other things. It's not necessary that everybody should build schools and hospitals and things, but every builder should do something extra. Some contribution in terms of what you have, in terms of doing it. You have a CSR fund, I'm sure, which you use. Actually use it for some local working that can be done. You think it is very small in the beginning, but every year when you continue to do it, over a period of time, we have to do it. Collectively, in 35 years, I now have 14 colleges in Bombay, 6 schools, 2 hospitals, 1 skill development center, and we continue to grow each and every one of these aspects. So I have 45,000 students in colleges, we have 16,000 students in schools. We do free skilling of 5,000 poorest of poor every year, and we do it. But I started very small. I started the smallest possible way. So if each one of us can actually take up a very small contribution, it doesn't have to be big. I don't like big contributions in the beginning. Just start something small, doesn't matter. Do it individually, do it collectively, it doesn't matter how you really do it. Over a period of time, people will look up to you, other people will feel jealous of you, but sometimes your own relatives feels bad that वो अभी इतना बड़ा हो गया, ये charity करता है इसलिए उसका नाम बहुत बड़ा हो गया. Now I can't stop doing charity because he's going to like me and not feel jealous of me. So we continue to do all these activities. Why am I saying all this? Because we need to bring up the credibility of our industry. The purpose is not to stand here and say, "Arey, tum Amitabh Bachchan bana, ye ho gaya." That's not my objective. My objective is to see that industry should get credibility. A builder is getting credibility. 40 साल पहले मैंने एक मंत्री से अपॉइंटमेंट लिया था, 40 साल पहले की बात कर रहा हूँ. उसने उसके सेक्रेटरी को कहा, पीए को कहा कि निरंजन हीरानंदानी का नाम मत लिखना क्योंकि वो बिल्डर है. At that time, Haji Mastan and Yusuf Patel were the kind of builders Mumbai had. And now, of course, I'd been appointed by Prime Minister for a cabinet committee of appointments when I was Director HUDCO. I drafted the National Housing Policy of Government of India. I did the drafting of the slum policy for Maharashtra for Balasaheb Thackeray and so on and so forth. So credibility has not come only to me. That's not important. But it has come to the building industry. That is important to do. So you're not only representing yourself, Niranjan, or whichever builder, or Harish, or whoever it is over here. You represent and talk about a business you are there. So when you talk about credibility, you think about a Tata, you talk about people of that type who are there to do. And ultimately, if each one of us can contribute that little bit, can you imagine thousands of builders who will give some contribution? So all I'm asking you for is not success only for yourself. Of course you must be successful. If you can't be successful, you cannot do for others. So I want each and every one of you to be super successes over a period of years, and we should. I'm not making money. Of course I'm making money, but and we have to build up. But the second is as important, giving back to society, association work in terms of bringing about betterness for the society, for our industry, for the credibility of our thing. So we look up to it. Earlier, all builders were considered bad, and that was not credibility to it. We have to earn that thing back. We cannot afford to lose, and that is something which I think we really need to do. So I just need a commitment that you will improve yourself 1% or 5% every year in terms of wealth, in terms of quality of work, in terms of commitment to whatever you have, and give to society that 1/4% of what you earn, because you must get into the habit of giving. That is more important rather than to give. And I promise you, cumulatively, it will become so big that you will be surprised after 20, 30 years that it's a big bhandar of what you have given. And this is something which I really cherish. The last and final point is, we don't have to work for a destination of success, that you will one day become something or somewhere. Enjoy each and every moment of your life. Enjoy the process of construction. Enjoy the process of doing things. Enjoy the process of this fraternity of people. Love each other and enjoy your life completely. Enjoy every moment of your life, because life is too short. I've just now had a friend who died at 45, and I was so taken aback. And I'm 72. How many bonus years I have got? And I don't know how many more years you will have or I will have. So let's enjoy each and every moment together, collectively, individually, with our families, with our friends and our industry, and contribute that little bit and do lovely. You will be successful. We will be successful. I have seen how much success is there in this suburban work and redevelopment work you there. I wish you well. I'm with you, love you all, And anything else I can do for anybody, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would love to stretch myself to help you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for lovely words of wisdom. And today we want to live in the moment, be here, and enjoy the lovely stories and the conversation that Jay is going to take it forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, hello everybody. First of all, thank you to all of you, our eminent panelists, for agreeing to speak at this amazing event. You are stalwarts of our industry, and I hope that through the discussion, we're able to decode just a little bit of you and learn about what makes you tick and what's enabled you to build the amazing institutions that you have. So this is about you and what advice you would give the rest of us so we too can strive to, at some point in our lives, become a touch of something that you are. So I'll start with you, Niranjan uncle. Event you're invited to with all the charm in the world, as we've just seen. So I think I speak for everybody here when I ask you, sir, how do you do it? How can we build an institution like you have? And how can we be more like you?
My belief is that you will do better than me. My belief is that you got to love what you do, otherwise don't do it. So if I don't love to come and speak here, I should not come. If I don't want to run a hospital, I shouldn't. If I don't want to expand my business, I shouldn't. If I don't want to do something for the city, I shouldn't. So I actually love what I do. At the age of 50, I was about to die. I had a problem which was not diagnosed, and I had to go to America. Luckily, I was treated and I'm fine. So I treat every day as a bonus. For me, I must every day give back to society as much as I get. And the more I'm giving, the more I'm getting. So I still have a net worth which is increasing in spite of giving more. But the point is, at that point of time, I thought if I don't give back, whether to associations, whether to work with the government on policy or others, I always felt, and I've benefited much more by giving than I have actually done because of working. So I think for my experiences of life, Jay, the more you give, the more you get back. I'm not, it's not that I don't do business, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be able to expand it. The second is I have a good team of people. So I always collect good professional people who will do my work, and we like to do it. And the third is that I do believe things will change. Whether industry will change, I think the methods which we followed 30 years ago and today are very different. New businesses will come. Data center was an opportunity. My son Darshan is really taking leadership in that. We thought that the industrial platform with the Prime Minister wanting to do it was very strong. We did that. We think energy is requirement of the country. We put up the first floating LNG terminal in India, regasification unit and all. So all the new businesses are a lot of fun. But I spend at least 40% of my time every single day on not-for-profit, every single day. And I think working on a diversity of matters actually gives me energy back. It's almost like resting when I'm working on a college or a hospital. For example, I had COVID last year and I was in the hospital. So I told my hospital doctors, I said, तुम लोग वही ऑपरेशन कर रहे हैं 10 साल से, अभी भी वही ऑपरेशन कर रहे हैं. What the hell are you doing new? So they said we are doing cancer.
That's amazing. Thank you, sir, for that. Sandeep, sir, the Runwal Group has delivered 51 projects to 20,000 families since your father started the company. You currently have residential, commercial, and retail properties across Mumbai, MMR, and Pune. I believe now your son, Saurabh, has also joined the company and is heading up most of the customer-facing functions. You're a second-generation entrepreneur after your dad, and Saurabh is now the third. The question I have for you is, how have you seen management styles changing? And as a veteran of the industry, is there any advice you would offer to all us guys, the young entrants in the sector?
So Jay, it's a little tough one, simply because I think each generation has their own style, and I can only describe my father's style from what I have seen, but he would have been a better person to express his own style. The styles have also changed as how the industry has changed. When Niranjan Bhai, Dad, all did businesses, the core of the business was licensing, getting approvals, managing permissions, managing ULC, managing the government, which then transitioned to execution, which then transitioned to planning, layouts, and which I'm now seeing transitioning to more customer experiences, customer loyalty, just customer delight. So I think this can also speak of the 3 styles of management, which we will see how generations will work on. And the reason we've put Saurabh into the customer-facing business is primarily because I think that's going to be the core for survival. Most of us will now at some point catch up on all execution skills, approval skills, and with approvals becoming very standard, the only differentiator between brands will be the experience and the customer delight, and that will be the pure play for the business as with time to come. Going back more to how the styles have evolved, businesses were very person-centric. As you come into the business, when I joined somewhere close to 98, 99, the businesses were very, very suburb-driven. Builders were very focused on one suburb. They were building brands on that suburb. Then slowly, slowly, we started spreading across the city. And somehow, still most of the builders are only city-focused. We've not seen builders being very successful going across different cities. And over a period of time, when my son was given a choice, by the way, to join real estate or not to join real estate, I didn't force him into the business. And he, on his own, after passing out from college, worked with Bain and then started working with us. And he seems to be enjoying real estate a lot. And he feels it's an industry where there is a challenge every day on your table. No day is the same as the last one, and no day you can plan for yourself. You have something new which comes on your table, and the first 1 hour, you're only focused on that. And of course, Niranjan Bhai, my father, have so much experience. But you know, whatever you do, the experience is what comes on your table and state. Some of them are not there. Yeah. And the churn is now happening every 5 years. Yeah. It's no longer 10 or 20 years. So if you want to be relevant in the business, you have to be ahead of the business. You have to be ahead of the curve every time when you see change. And you have to accept change, because that's the only thing which our industry is going to survive on.
Thank you. Nayan uncle, Mayfair has been in the business for 57 years, and it was started by your dad. Now, you've unabashedly advocated making our industry more progressive. In your capacity as past president of CREDAI MCHI, and under your leadership, you faced some very difficult challenges, including the introduction of the new DC regulations and implementation of RERA. You've seen the industry go through tremendous highs and very low lows. I mean, huge booms and crippling busts. What do you do to help you navigate these difficult times? Like, what is your North Star? What keeps you going when times are tough?
I think 2 things that have always helped me to navigate all difficult times, or not being too euphoric when things are going fine also, is number 1, meditation. I practice Vipassana, and the very fundamental that everything is impermanent. सब बदलने वाला है, सब बदल रहा है. This realization at that moment, so it helps you to accept the reality as it is. अगर मार्केट खराब है तो हाँ आज मार्केट खराब है, तो अब मैं क्या करूँ, rather than fighting कि मार्केट खराब क्यों हुआ, कैसे हुआ, मैं क्या करूँ, you know, so all that, you know, goes out of the mind. You just sit calmly and think what the solution should be. That is one thing. Second thing which I have always followed is follow the rule book. When you follow the rule book, nothing can go wrong. You can have your own ups and downs, officers troubling you, stuff like that. I'll give you an example of, I had a project at Kandivalli. I had applied for OC, and Niranjan Bhai knows, and the refusal came, okay, you get an NOC from the army, and then only we'll give you an OC. Now imagine, you have sold stuff of 250 crores, 200 crores have come to you, there is a loan of 75 crore of a bank on you, and so यहाँ बैंक को भी पैसा वापस देना है, वहाँ customer को भी देना है, so obviously I'll have to sell my home, everything, yet I will not be able to. So I decided that no, I will not manage anything, I'll go to the High Court. And believe me, thanks, and then everybody started supporting, including Gopal Shetty, the MP over here, Niranjan Bhai, and both our projects were affected. And finally, in the Supreme Court, the matter came before Justice Rohinton Nariman. You know, he's an absolute courageous guy. And he threw the SLP out of the army. So, you know, when you follow the rule book, you are bound to get relief. So these are the two things that have always helped me to, you know, to face all challenges.
Thank you, Nayan Bhai. Just to follow up on that, this is an issue which a lot of us have faced. What happens when the rules change midway and then they are imposed on you retrospectively?
Correct. So that's what the High Court appreciated. That all these years, while all these buildings were going on, what were you doing? And hence, so even recently, I think Anand Pandit got an order on civil aviation also, that he already had a height and the height was changed. And the High Court said that, okay, that could be prospective, but you cannot stop a project which already has a height. So, you know, generally the courts have ruled in favor of whatever is the permission that we have got.
Understood. No, that's thank you. So, Rajan Bhai, coming to you. Raunak, under your leadership, has done 7,200 homes to its customers. And whilst doing this, you've also served as president of Naredco India. And you've been extremely committed to the cause of bringing the industry together. You've managed to tread that really difficult line of building a successful business whilst also working to create an impartial and very effective association in the form of Naredco. What is your view of the future of the industry and what is your vision for it?
Jay, see, we all sitting in this hall give one of the important aspect of human life. We all say roti, kapda and makan. So we all give makan. So the future is really bright because see, each and everybody taking in a positive step. Earlier it was joint family. From joint family it has become nuclear family. अब nuclear family से female बोलती है कि मुझे भी एक घर चाहिए. तो looking in a positive way, कि the demand is not going to die. And as Niranjan sir told, कि everybody we should aspire to do better whatever we have done. So I would put it in other way around, कि there is no competition between others. You should have competition within yourself only. Whatever you have done today, you have to do it better. The moment you have that competition, so it's a healthy competition. So you are never going to lose, you are going to only win. Now coming to the association part, of course, Naredco has done wonderfully well, thanks to Niranjan sir, because as we call him Amitabh Bachchan of the industry, and he has given tremendous time. The desired brand or an icon person, what we required in our industry. Because I always feel, I don't know how many of you would agree, कि we deliver so many houses, because I tell each and everyone, because whenever, even for that matter, I would tell you an instance, we had a CSE meeting, RERA authority meeting, committee meeting in Delhi. The consumers, they always keep on blaming the developers. So the person who is working there, Fight for Right president, I told him, मैं तुमको plot देता हूँ, approval लाके देता हूँ, बैंक से भी पैसा लाके देता हूँ, एक बिल्डिंग बना के बताओ. क्या होता है? बोलना बहुत इजी है, क्योंकि क्या है, इनको सिर्फ गाली देनी आती है, but I would tell you, I feel, pardon me for saying this, we don't respect ourselves. We. See, let's start first respecting ourselves. Let's start calling spade a spade, a wrong thing a wrong thing. I know it's difficult, but let's start someday, because as Sandeep told, Niranjan sir told, he has lived 3 generations. Jay has asked Sandeep about 3 generations, but Niranjan sir, we have a legend who has seen 3 generations here. And at least I also, see, I am in a business from last 42 years. It's not, even though my age, you may not see that, but I started working very soon. मेरा नाम पटेल नहीं है या जैन नहीं है, शाह नहीं है, लेकिन क्या बोलता है कि वो उसमें, वरना तो वहाँ पे तो 17-18 साल में गद्दे पे बिठा देते हैं कि भाई चलो आप, गाड़ी चालू है, आप बैठ जाओ. So let's make a pledge that let's start restrictions, whatever we provide them. Let's provide them a good environment to live. See, thanks to Prime Minister Modi, see, yeah, they have done affordable rental housing scheme, wherein, I don't know if you people are not aware, you can go on the website of MOA, you can find it. इतने लोग पैदल चल के गए कोरोना के टाइम पे. सी, ये थैंक्स टू मीडिया भी है, मीडिया माइट बी हियर. उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने एक न्यूज़ करके इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट पे बताया, देखो इतने लोग चल के जा रहे हैं, इतने लोग मर रहे हैं, वो हो रहा है. बट the government took it in positive and they formed a scheme. So skilling is there. Same way, Sandeep is very passionate about green building. Let's all start constructing green building. So automatically, when I am talking about respect, these all things will start coming from that. These all things, all the next generation should take it as active and start doing it.
Thank you, Rajan bhai. That's very, very good advice. Thank you. Harish bhai, coming to you. Rishabh Raj was founded by you with a very clear focus and strategy. Redevelopment residential projects in Borivali and the surrounding areas. And you guys have done remarkable work since its founding. What drove you to this specific strategy? And why did you choose real estate? Out of all the businesses you could possibly have chosen, why real estate?
Well, Jay, we were in textiles. We are in textiles today also. It's a family-owned business. My 2 brothers are in textile today. And even I was doing a good business in textile exports. And in 2008, I had a setback in exports. So at that particular point of time, my dad was a small-time investor. He used to invest in the projects and take some amount of just square feet le liya thoda sa ye. So he suggested me कि you do real estate. So my first thing was कि now I am like 35 and अभी मेरे को दूसरा business चालू करना है, तो मैं ज़िंदगी भर एक business करता हूँ, settle कब होऊंगा? So he said, this is my advice, if you want to do it, you do it, or you do whatever you like it. And not having any background of real estate, like no academic background, no family background, real estate का कोई background नहीं था. So redevelopment was a new start. That time even ये 79A वगैरह procedure नहीं था. It came in 2009. So having a good goodwill in the area where we live, so we got first redevelopment building over there and started with that building redevelopment. And that first building, it was like a 8-story building, and एक passion था पूरा करने का, and had to do something because had suffered a setback कि भाई ये अभी इसको कैसे भी करके पूरा करना है. So I completed that building in span of 11 months with OC. So that drove me and had a really good goodwill in that area. So एक के पीछे I kept on getting the buildings in Daulat Nagar, Borivali, where we stay. So I've done like more than 16, 17 buildings in Daulat Nagar itself. Redevelopment, small projects, sir. And things kept on moving. And redevelopment is all about word of mouth. Here, how much ever we say कि मेरा काम अच्छा है, it doesn't work. काम ही बोलता है, the quality, the delivery. And we kept on, like sir said, कि वो जो customer, the same stories over here, kept on doing one building better than other. So जो समझ में आया, we kept on doing one another. And today it's like that just because of good quality and timely delivery. Redevelopment is all about quality and timely delivery. If you deliver it in time and you have the exit plan, then you can never fail in redevelopment. And anything in real estate, actually, it's exit. Exit has to be planned very properly. So fortunately, could go ahead, and today we have like 21 projects ongoing, redevelopment projects, and just learning from all the dignitaries sitting over here. And BDA also has helped a lot to come at this particular point of time.
Thank you for that. That was very, very insightful. So our industry's changed quite a lot in the past few years, and we've been subjected to a lot of changes in the regulations, introduction of an ombudsman in the form of RERA, and we've suffered almost a decade of a really soft and challenging market. The landscape of developers as a result has changed dramatically, and you know, we heard Sandeep sir say that the top names 10 years ago are no longer where they were. Now it's every 5 years that you know, the market churns. So, Sandeep sir, in response to this, you've steered Runwal through these very, very strong headwinds, and you've come out, I dare say, very successfully on the other side. A lot of developers have not. Reflecting back on these years, what was the one thing that gave you sleepless nights, and does it still give you those sleepless nights?
So Jay is privy to some information, and that's why this question has come. So we were discussing on the platform of Narrateco a tie-up with IIM Bangalore to discuss strategy in real estate, how real estate should shape up, and that's when this conversation came up. And in real, just to be honest, the one thing which really bothers me in real estate is the entire business is in one man's head. Everything I do in my business, of all aspects, only I would know about it. And that would be true to at least 90% of us in the real estate industry.
Very true.
And that really bothers me, because tomorrow, like Niranjan Bhai just mentioned, a friend of his passed away at 45. What is the backup for your business? You have 1,000+ employees, you have a turnover, everything is fine, but who is at the core? Who is your CPU in the computer, like you say in the computer language? It's you. You cannot be replicated, you cannot be duplicated, you cannot be whatever you cannot. How do you create a business which can be sustained over years in your absence? If your son turns out well, joins real estate, great. If he doesn't, it's gone. How do you remove the person centricity of the business? Because the business runs on its own like an industry and not so dependent on you. That really, it's something which I am yet to figure out a solution. And that's one of the key things why we are trying to rope in IIM Bangalore to do more like a study program, more like an education program with us, for us to understand how to delegate, how to build an organization which sustains after we are not there, after we are not relevant, and we can do like what Niranjan Bhai does, 40% of his time in non-profit. I cannot do it. I really can't think of it. I really say, okay, sustain beyond you.
Fantastic. And in response to that, can I ask, what is it that you're comfortable delegating, and what do you like to hold very close to your chest?
So to be honest, I think in real estate, you cannot delegate licensing. You cannot, and I have seen Niranjan Bhai also do licensing in corporation, in Mantralaya, and I can assure you, you cannot delegate licensing. No CEO understands it, no CEO will understand it. You have to keep that to yourself. And unfortunately or fortunately, that continues to be a barrier of entry in Mumbai. So all of us who have been in Mumbai know very, very well that most of the people who have come outside Mumbai have not been successful, primarily because licensing is the key in Mumbai. And the other stuff of it, you can delegate today is operations, customer centricity, and I'm assuring you most of the professionals do a better job than we do. Although we think we do a great job, I don't think we do a great job with it. So that's one thing I think you can surely delegate.
Thank you. Thank you. Nayan uncle, so I've got to know you over the past, 10 or 12 years that I've been in the industry, and I found that you really imbibe everything that you want Mayfair Housing to stand for. Right from your WhatsApp display picture to your greeting of affection, you know, appreciating you, right? To the way you conduct yourself, optimism, transparency, congeniality. Mayfair and you are basically indistinguishable. Why do you do it that way, and would you do it any other way?
Well, thank you for your observation. Somehow or other I found that this is the only way to do it. I mean, I have not been able to, so when I made a list of the way I would work, I think this is the only way I found. And if you permit me, I wanted to make one observation. Number one is that, you know, Grishma had sent me that if you were to do the business again, what would you do differently? And I wanted to pick up on what Niranjan Bhai said. I think a few things that I would do on the personal front and the business front differently is number one. And let me talk to you on the personal front. Number one, I would get married early. I'll have my children early. I would want to reach my house every day by 7:30 and meet my children, my wife, my parents, my family, my friends, relatives and stakeholders. I think sometimes we get too much awed by the rat race and then we get burned out, you know, very soon. And it's very important that we maintain this life-business balance. So this is one thing that I would definitely do if I were to restart.
So, Niranjan Uncle, that was actually a question that I had for you. And I'm so glad that Nayan Bhai is giving us a perspective from his end as well. So, you've created one of the most formidable companies in our sector. And your 44 years of experience are like a treasure trove for everybody. There's really little that you haven't seen. If you had the opportunity to do it all again, rewind and restart in 1978 with all the knowledge and experience that you have today, what, if anything, would you do differently?
Everything. You know, hindsight is such a beautiful thing that we would always do something better, differently and whatnot and all that. You know, I mean, there is never anything that you have done which you could not have improved on. There's never a situation which you may not have avoided. There was never a mistake that you could have left back. But you know, every time you make a mistake, and if you're willing to learn from it, then the experience of learning is also extremely important. And that is why at a particular age, you have the knowledge of wisdom. The problem is that we don't learn from our mistakes. So if we have made a mistake once, we keep on making the same mistake again and again, and we don't really learn from that. So I think I would do nothing the same way that I have. I would do everything better. I would love more. I would dance more. I would party more. I would make better buildings. I would do more charity. I would travel more. I don't know. I haven't done skydiving. I would have done skydiving, and I'm planning to do that next time I go to Dubai. I want to do skydiving. Those they said after 70 you have to get a doctor's certificate to do skydiving. So I'll get a doctor's certificate to do skydiving. So I mean, I don't think, but you know, we don't live on hindsight. So we have to accept the unchangeable, which is yesterday, and even today. I can't change it, so forget it. You accept what is changeable. And for tomorrow, what can I change for tomorrow? And that is more important for me to do. So change the changeable and accept the unchangeable, which is yesterday or even today. So I don't bother about what it is. So many times, about 30 people have asked me to write my book. I hate to write the book, not because I don't want to write the book, because I don't like to look at the rear view mirror at all. So I don't want to think, "Arey, 10 saal pehle ye hua tha, to uska kya?" They keep on telling me, you know, people will learn a lesson from what you do. But for me, thinking about yesterday is a waste of my time. I rather think about today and what I can do tomorrow. Can I love somebody more? Can I do something more? For example, during the lockdown, I learned dancing, ballroom dancing. So I do ballroom dancing with my wife in the last 1.5 years.
Great.
And I've never done
Great.
ballroom dancing in all the 46 years of my marriage. I've never done it. But now I and my wife can do for you, I can do a show on this place, ballroom dancing, which you have never seen. And the idea is, I mean, would I have thought of ballroom dancing 3 years ago? My wife would have kicked me, you know, I mean, if I had suggested it. Now she was so bored at home that when I suggested it, she said, okay, let's do this. There's nothing else to do. I mean, the rest of it we have already done together. So let's do something different. So basically, why look back? I don't see why we should look at it. It's a bloody waste of time. And that is the only reason I'm not able to write a book on things which I want, I mean, about my biography or anything. I don't mind writing about lessons I've learned in life. But I don't want to write on, मैंने ये 40 साल में ये किया, 50 साल में ये किया, ये अच्छा किया, ये बड़ा किया, ये कोचा किया. It's a bloody waste of time.
Got it. So hindsight is 20/20, but it doesn't matter.
No.
Learn from your experience and look forward with optimism.
Absolutely. I think today is beautiful, and I hope tomorrow will also be beautiful, and maybe it will be better than today. So why not whatever it is you got to do? And if you don't do ballroom dancing, you'll do skydiving. So something else even better than that. And if you have some such...
I'm conscious that everybody's got a time limit, so I'm going to just wrap this up with another, just one question for everyone on the panel. So I think, Nayan Uncle, we can start with you. Just tell us about something that went well and what you learned from it. And alternatively, tell us about something that didn't go to plan and what you learned from it, and what these two experiences have contributed in you to make you who you are today.
So, Jay, let me start with what scares me. I think what scares me is that will I be able to honor my commitment? You know, that always makes me into a sleepless night, kind of, you know, that way. And regarding success, I think I have always felt that there was something incomplete in whatever I have done, you know, kind of. So there is always scope to improve or to be better. So that's the way I have looked at everything, you know, that accept everything, and there is always something better that you can do. The only thing is that, as Niranjan Bhai said, that did I love doing it? Was I passionate about it? Did I put my true heart to it? And was I fair with everybody around me? I think that's the only, filters that I keep, whatever I do.
Thank you. Rajan Bhai, one thing you learned, one thing that went well and what you learned from it, and something that didn't go to plan and what you learned from it and how they molded you today?
I feel we do nothing. We are all artists. The play is run by somebody else. The director is there. He is doing. We are only actors. I really believe that.
Okay. Thank you. No, that's a very interesting perspective on it. No, thank you. And Niranjan Uncle, what about yourself?
I think the things that have worked best for me is that both my children have done something totally different than what I wanted them to do. They didn't follow me at all. So my daughter started a call center at age 23. She set up Dental Technologies, and she went away to England. She married second time. She got a wonderful 2 children. I have 2 lovely grandchildren. And she sold her Zenta Technologies company to an American group at the age of 27 for $100 million US. So that was the best thing that happened. So she is quite independent and happy. Doesn't listen to me at all, and thinks I'm a Buddhu and I should have been much more richer and I should have been more cleverer, and I am not so clever in everything that I do. My second is my son, Darshan, who went to Dubai at age 23 and built the that time the tallest residential tower in the world, 23 Marina, 90-storied residential tower, and did it on his own and made a profit in a recession and bought a helicopter as a present for me, so which I recently sold and hardly used. So made him independent, and he's the person who's leading the data center and the platform and the gas and energy business. So remove the banyan tree from my children and let them do it. I think that's the best thing which I have done. The negative things have been so many that we will have to stay up till tomorrow morning to hear all the wrong things that I have done. And the best person to tell you the wrong things is not me, but my wife. So next time, please invite my wife, and I'll tell you, she will not be able to stop, but she may feel shy to tell you. But in reality, in privacy, if you want, Jay, you can come home and then listen from her, and we can spend the whole night together. And so I don't think there's anybody who doesn't do wrong things. But if you don't learn from it and try and improve on it, it's not there. So I keep on doing wrong things, and I did it yesterday, and I did it day before, and I did it the day before yesterday also. But I try to do more things, so I'm likely to cover up for the wrong. So they all call me Amitabh Bachchan and all that. But they don't know my failure of movies. So Amitabh Bachchan also had hundreds of movies which failed. But because he had 50 movies that did very well, you call him Amitabh Bachchan. But talk to Amitabh Bachchan. Do you know Amitabh Bachchan was bankrupt one day? Yes. Do you know that Amitabh Bachchan has had the highest number of failures in movies than any movie star in Bollywood? As number of failures. But the fact is, he made so many movies and so many successes, though his bloody failures are forgotten. And thank you very much, all of you, for forgetting my failures.
Thank you for that. Sandeep bhai, yourself?
So I think on a personal side, you learn everything. I don't think there's really any specific instance which I can say is where I felt that it's been wrong, but like you learn and experience teaches you and you become wiser. But one of the things which I find for all of us which is going negative today is the word builder. How many of you read Times of India today front page? Builder shoots. As an association, all of us, CREDA, MCHI, Naredco, really have to at some point define what a builder is. Because we really work hard, we really put in, I think we work harder than any other business in this country, and we still are on the receiving end of every negative thing. Whether it's the courts, whether it's the government, whether it's whatever. Like Niranjan Bhai said, he wouldn't get invited because he was a builder. That's crazy. But we ourselves have to really change. And association-wise, we all need to put in that effort to change the definition of a builder.
Correct. Thank you. No, that's sage advice, I would say. Harish bhai, finally yourself.
Thank you. The best part is all the wrong things happen to me. That is the best part. All negative things, what have you learned from all your mistakes, and from that mistakes, at that particular point of time, you realize that that is a bad time, but I can say that is the best time of life when wrong things happen to us. So I think I always keep saying to all my employees, problems अच्छे हैं, दाग अच्छे हैं. So that is the best part, like when we have wrong things going on us and when we learn from that, that is the best part. Negative part is like, this is what I think, success के साथ बहुत ज़्यादा we should not fly it, उसको we should control it and keep on trying our level best to achieve at another level of things. So this is best part and both negative part.
Thank you very much. I know I'm sorry we've gone over.
Jay, I want to ask you a question. You tell me, you have seen your grandfather, your father and your generation. So you tell us about what developers should not do and what developers should do, because you have also seen 3 generations and you have come a long way, and I think you are one of the young entrepreneurs who people sitting here also gives a credit to you, and they also respect you and adore you. So you tell us what this young generation who are sitting here, what they shouldn't do and what they should do.
Thank you, Abhi. This off topic, but I will make an attempt just to tell you what something that I would
No,
my
before that, I would
response.
like to say one thing about Jai Vardhan. You all know that during the COVID times, there was this Deepak Parekh committee that was formed. And based on the Deepak Parekh committee, the 50% premium stamp duty, and I tell you, Rajan, the backbone of that report was Jai Vardhan. He wrote the chapter and convinced Deepak Parekh that Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai are 5 times more cheaper for a developer to do business. And if you continue to charge the same premiums, this industry will be completely bankrupt. So this is something I would like to acknowledge, Jai, and over to you.
Thank you, Nayan Uncle. It was only because I had the opportunity given to me by your good self that I was able to, help in whatever way I could. It was an honor to be part of that. And Rajan Bhai, in response to your question to me, what I would do or what I tried to do is, and I've got a long way to go to come even close to where you guys are, but what I try to think about is something that, Niranjan Uncle also touched upon, although slightly differently. And I read this in incidentally a management book. It said, visit the graveyard. And that means revisit your failures and try to learn as much as you can from them. Wow. And I look back at some of the great things that my father and my grandfather did. I look back at some of the good things that I've been able to do, and I try to learn from those, but I really, really, really try to analyze the failures and the mistakes and try to learn from them. If I'm able to understand what went wrong and why it went wrong and what caused it to go wrong, whatever the reason may be, there's no point apportioning blame or getting worked up about it, but trying to learn from it. The hope is that in my career going forward, I'd probably end up not making those mistakes or learning and having that kind of, insight to potentially do something a little bit better. I've got large boots to fill, but that's the hope. Thank you. Thank you all. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for the honor of allowing me to talk to these legends. Really, really appreciate it, and I hope I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Thank you very, very much. It was a lovely session to learn, and the last bit was fantastic that Rajan sir had put, because we youth really, really have a lot to learn from all of you guys, but also an inspiration. Having a youth who is an inspiration for us as well. He is the one who probably has made all us real estate developers enjoy the benefits of premiums reduction. Okay? So please, a big round of applause. Yeah. It's our pleasure to have you guys here. I would like to call upon Mr. Vikram Mehta and Ritesh Shah to please felicitate our guest as a token of appreciation. I would like to share my key takeaways from this session. Beautiful thing said by Niranjan sir. Don't think about the past. Accept the unchangeable. Beautiful thing said by Sandeep sir. We need to worry what's going to happen after we are gone. But what is going to stay with us always at every moment is the moment that we are. And today, at this moment, it's a wonderful moment of our life to have here, to have such great leaders over here. And I think I'm going to fall out of words now. Sir, it's a money plant, a plant which is going to build and keep growing the way the relationship of Naredco and BDA is going to grow. Thank you for being a lovely audience. We request you to follow for the dinner. Thank you.